And hello, everybody. Welcome to Flyers, I don't know, second, third, fourth live stream. I don't know. We're trying this time out, 7:30 on a Thursday. I'm here with Dave and Ed. And this week, none of us have been anywhere again. Tonight, we thought we'd have a gallop through who we are, where we come from, what number we are. Get on to talking a little bit about aviation, what's going on in the world of aviation, hopefully, and see where that leads us. So, just as we've only got 25 minutes tonight, perhaps for NHS and all that. Let's start with Dave. I'm going to do a little bit of a screen share if I can here. There you go. So, Dave, talk us through who you are.
Okay, well, the office joke is that I'm so old, I helped William Caxton write his first headline. But it's true that I started on newspapers when they were still hot metal, with text produced by linotype machines and photos of blocks. Pages left the compositor's room as a cardboard mould known as the flong. That was Motorcycle News, which you can see on the screen just here. Then at MCN, it was a big paper, and I spent 8 years working on MCN and its rival Motorcycle, reporting, road testing, crashing, going to hospital, more reporting.
8 years?
And, here I am on that's me, my 5 seconds of glory ahead of Mick Grant on a very wet Brands Hatch. For an article in Motorcycle News. And for Motorcycle News, I went on to Bike magazine. This is 1982, actually, with me in the spanky white leathers on the right, on a motor. We did all sorts of crazy stuff on Bike magazine, including this particular episode, where we drove a motorcycle with a leaning sidecar around southeast London with a stuffed dog strapped to the sidecar. Anyway, so moving on.
Are you sure that was a stuffed dog?
It was a stuffed dog because it fell off at one point, and I was picking it up out of the gutter, and some old woman came past and said, "Is he all right?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry, he's dead."
He's stuffed.
I'm amazed we didn't get arrested for that. So then, after motorcycles, I'd had enough crashes and injuries, broken bones. So I moved on to cars, and this is 1990, I think, which is driving the very first Lotus, the new then Elan Mark II, as we call it, the sensational Elan. So cars went through most of it for a big chunk, and then in 1999 I joined Flyer, and about the same time I bought this gorgeous Luscombe, which I no longer have, unfortunately, but I'm looking to get another one at some point.
Is that one of those Tory party power stances you've got there, Dave?
What?
Is that one of those Tory party power stances you've got there?
That's me standing like a plonker, as I usually do when I'm being photographed. So from I went to that one.
Quickly.
Won't mention. And from Pilot,
even worse.
A bunch of us went off to launch a free newspaper called Loop.
Yeah, okay.
And as well as Loop, we also launched one called Blades for helicopters and P1 for business aviation, where I got to fly business jets like the Eclipse and a few others. And
can't leave that on the screen, sorry.
This is in flight simulator for Embraer's new fly-by-wire Legacy 500. And I landed it. For a while, I went to live in France, in the French Pyrenees, where we had a lot of this. And that's my barn behind it. About that same time, I started working freelance for both Flyer and a magazine called Arabian Aerospace. This is Arabian Aerospace, the newsroom at the Dubai Air Show one year, where I also managed to fly this Diamond DA62. And then after that, it was...
I'm going to leave that picture up because that's kind of much more interesting.
Yes, I didn't put this one in. Ian dragged it up from somewhere. This is a Christmas party, presumably about 2000.
Something like that. I've got some others where you're in fancy dress, but it just.
I'm cutting this out.
Right. I didn't put those ones in.
So that's it. That's my quick run through.
Excellent, thank you, Ed. Over to you.
That's a tough act to follow. I'm not sure how to. This was me back in 1979. My kind of roots all started with model flying, and that's that's me being particularly small against a quarter scale Piper Cub that my dad had built. But yeah, so modelling was a big part of my growing up, and I progressed to bigger stuff. So that's a proper Super Cub, and that was 1994 when I went to Clacton Aero Club and spent 3 weeks of my school holiday and got my PPL. Really great times that.
How old were you in 1994?
How old was I in 1994? And I think I was 17 and a half, 18.
And that was the year you started the magazine, or bought the
Oh,
magazine.
right. Yeah, so it's been a while.
Well, what happened?
Been a while. That was me in a snowstorm.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
No, there we go.
There you go. How about?
That's 2002. I always like building stuff, so that was building my first home built, which I built with a mate of mine and my dad. That was an RV6. So that was great fun.
Seating would never catch on, would it?
Sorry?
Seating like that will never catch on.
Yeah, no. It's poor view over the nose flying it like that.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
But great rudder control. Oh, we've missed one.
Hang on. No,
go forward one. Go on, skip through. There we go. And that was that aeroplane finished. That was a great building experience. I really enjoyed that. And you can go back to the previous one, the other yellow and white one. Not many people will know what that is, but that's the Vans RV5, which is a VW powered foldable aeroplane. The wing pivots. As you can see, there's absolutely no chance of me flying that because I stick out somewhat from the top. But and the other, so I'm very lucky to be loaned a few aeroplanes. This is a fantastic Vagabond that belongs to a great friend of mine, and he shares that with a few people. So I've been very lucky to fly that. Really gorgeous restoration by Miles McCallum. And that brings me up to my current machine, which is my RV8 that was 7 years in the build and finished last year in July. So
wow.
It's mind-bendingly fast for my vagabond brain. So
at least it would be if people could fly these days.
That's it. Yeah, and it's a lovely hanger ornament now. So
you go and polish it.
Yes, I did go and do some essential maintenance on the weekend.
Excellent.
Yes.
And
for my sins, the photos you see in Flyer, and for virtually my whole working history, I've been taking photos of aeroplanes for various people.
Excellent.
And like Dave, Dave and I have worked for all the mags. We've worked for Pilot, worked for Flyer. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, notable by its absence was Today's Pilot in there. Did anyone work for Today's Pilot?
No.
Sorry.
Blimey.
Okay.
No, with the one base not covered. Anyway, so that's it.
Almost forgotten.
Yeah.
So where we go. So there you go. Just a quick one for me. That was I only know that was June 1989 because it was there. I used to work for a company called Future Publishing in Bath and got dragged out of my office at one point to go and be a cover model. But my cover modelling days lasted for approximately about half an hour. That was it. I'm assuming that issue tanked and no one bought it. But it was only 58 pence.
Great bargain.
So amazing, isn't it? At some stage, I think it was about 1994, I ended up buying Flyer, and this was my first desk. This desk, incidentally, was in the office of the guy who owned Future at the time, called Chris Anderson, and who was my boss when I was at Future. And anyone who watches TED Talks, Chris Anderson went off to the States and did a few bits and pieces, and then eventually founded TED, where he seems to be, I think he's called the curator there now.
Yeah, that looks like your desk. That looks like your desk nowadays.
My desk. I don't have a Filofax now. I had a.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I missed that bit, but otherwise, it's quite close.
I cropped out in those days. I think I smoked, and so I cropped out cigarettes. And in those days, you could smoke in the offices as well. Although I don't think I ever smoked in Chris's office. Anyway, so that was me looking completely sharp and druggy, which I definitely wasn't and never have been.
There you go. Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you.
Yeah. I was 16 there. So just I put this one in because I back then I was also a bit of a car chap. And this pictures actually got a bit of a aviation connection. So I was invited out on a corporate day and got wazzed around some circuit in a Honda NSX by this chap. And it was one of those experiences where every single corner you come up to, you go, we're just never going to go around this corner. I'm going to die. And clearly I didn't, which was a good thing. So this chap here was or is Roger Clark, who won the RAC Rally. His brother, anyone know who his brother is? Was, unfortunately?
No.
Pete Clark.
Oh, wow. The test pilot.
Slingsby test pilot, and then the
Europa test pilot.
Europa test pilot.
Yeah. Wow. Nice hat, by the way.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we all got. It's one of those corporate things where you all get put into groups, and we all, I was in the pink group for some.
And you wanted to be in the pink group, didn't you?
I had no choice. I had no say in the matter. But pink's a mighty fine colour, just probably not suiting me in a hat. That day we got to blast around in Porsches, do something else that I can't remember, and go fly an R22, which was actually quite good fun. A little bit scary. That was my first aeroplane, Dart 17R, built by Slingsby. It was kind of like a wooden hot ship before glass fiber stuff came in. Had a compromise hook, which is a bit of a pain, so not very good for aero tows and not very good for winch launches. And the main thing I remember about that is, apart from the really awful colour, we won't go into that, was the VNE was 120 knots and the gear extension's max speed was 119 knots. I thought was quite funny. So G Blue, now November 681 Echo Whiskey. So that's why I'm G Blue on the forum. That was, I think that was probably one of the sales shots when I bought it. God knows, when did I buy it? Maybe 2000, I think, actually. Wow. Isn't it? That's the other thing I do these days, a bit of cycling. That was me when I was cycling through the rain. And that is G Blue or November 681 Echo Whiskey now. So that's enough of me.
And enough of us.
Time to move on. Talked about the news. Let's have a look. Where are we doing on time? 42. So we're not too bad.
We're going to talk about the contents of the next issue first, because it's just out this week, isn't it?
The new issue is available to read online. Yeah, the July issue's out. Flight test of the Vashon Ranger. GA response to COVID-19. That's a really good feature. Excellent flying adventure to Moldova in a Eurostar. Proving that microlights will take you as far as any other machine.
So where is Moldova?
Sorry?
Where is Moldova?
Where is Moldova? Somewhere in
the
east. Yes. Somewhere in the east. What else is there? There's a great good piece in Top Gear about keeping your skills sharp in lockdown. And obviously we're edging out of lockdown slowly. So hopefully. That's kind of it, and all the good normal stuff, columns and other features in that. So yeah.
Okay. So Ian, there's a few questions we've had from readers.
Okay.
Transitioning to the new digital flyer. So what does being free actually mean?
Means you don't pay for it.
But do you have to sign up for it?
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit. So basically, Flyer is free, and it's free. You can get it free a couple of ways. You can if you sign up for it, follow the link on the website. It means that we just send you an email saying, "Hey, latest free copy's out. Go get it, download it, have a look at it, enjoy it, and all the rest of it." Or you can join the Flyer Club, which is actually £7.50 a quarter, and you still get the free issue, but you get the free landing fees and weather and a copy of John Farley's book and other stuff like that. But you don't need to join the Flyer Club. We'd love it if you do. We really appreciate your support. But if you don't want to, that's fine, and you can jump on the website and read the magazine there. Hello, Sarah from Leading Edge. How are you? So I don't know if that answers the questions or not, but there are many ways to read Flyer free of charge.
So we've had a few questions from readers saying, I'm a subscriber, but I subscribe to the paper magazine, and I'm not so keen on digital. What about me?
Unfortunately, there's no paper issues at the moment, and there won't be for the foreseeable future. So we are working our little socks off to transition in as smoothly and as well as we possibly can into the digital world. We have some really exciting digital plans up in about another maybe 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks, when we'll have a completely different experience as well. And a really, we're all pretty excited about it.
And that's going to be a market. It's a market leading platform that a whole bunch of the big magazines use, and it will make it a really excellent reading experience across digital, across desktop, tablet, and mobile. Really responsive.
We have a question here. Can I just digress for a second before it disappears off the screen? From Richard Smith, who says, "Will Fly Alive ever return?" Ever's a long time, and so you never know. But there are no immediate plans.
No. Do you want to get rid of the pictures from the screen?
Good point. Thanks.
Yeah. There we go.
There you go.
That's better.
That is much better. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Clearly, my destiny is not to be a TV producer, is it?
No.
Sorry, Dave, were there any other questions before I went off sideways?
There was if someone wasn't happy having a digital magazine and they had a print magazine, can they get a refund for their subscription?
Absolutely. Just need to send an email to subscriptions@sega.aero saying I don't like paper, I don't like digital, I only want paper, please send me a refund, and we'll issue a refund. I have to say, I'm sure this doesn't apply to anybody watching this. There's been a real huge amount of support that we've had from readers online, in person, email, and stuff like that. But clearly, it doesn't suit everyone, and there have been a couple of people who've not been very happy at all. I've been kind of slightly surprised at the strength of feeling of one or two people who I guess it's because it's something they love so much. And I can understand. Yes, Paul. Yes, Phil Thomas. It will be compatible with Kindle. And so if you don't like it, that's perfectly understandable. You can still read it free of charge. We'll work really hard to give you a pleasant and an enjoyable and an immersive experience. If you need to let off steam, that's absolutely fine as well. We're human. It hurts.
Yeah, but just like the print copy of Flyer was always about the best paper, the best production, the best photography. The digital, the movement that we've and actions that we've taken for digital Flyer in the future, we'd like to think are akin to that same investment in print. This is. I'm going to go out on a limb and going to say this is going to be a real exceptional experience.
I absolutely. If it's not an exceptional experience, and if it's not an experience that's continually improved, then we wouldn't have done what we all want to do.
And that's our promise to you guys.
Absolutely. Right. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Move on.
There's plenty of news to talk about, and there is the possibility that we'll be returning to Flyer fairly soon.
Yeah, but everyone else has returned to doing their stuff. The yachtists are yachting, and the horse riders are riding horses, and other people are doing. What's happening at the DFT?
What's happening at the DFT, as I'm just checking, the guidance on coronavirus restrictions is currently being reviewed. That's stated today. And we happen to know that was put up about 5 o'clock because we've been checking it all day. So
they did know this was coming, didn't they?
But the CAA, we ought to say that in conjunction with this, the CAA has just issued its own advice and guidance for pilots returning to flying.
Yeah,
so we thought the two things would be coming together, the CAA guidance and the DFT lifting of restrictions, but not yet.
Still waiting.
Yeah, still waiting.
I got an email just before we started this with someone sending a clip. BHPA, British Hang Gliding and Parachuting Association, are good to go. Apparently, they're an outdoor sport, and there'll be no restrictions. They can fill their boots. Well, I guess there's kind of a whole normal social distancing thing, but
yeah,
which is
well, as we all know, aviation's got is much more highly regulated than most other activities.
Yeah.
There's a few things that have to be sorted out there.
That's it. But we were, I think the key words were that, there was no ban in force, so that when things could return to normal, they could return, promptly. So it seems like things are dragging a little bit at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have that lift music we were listening to earlier.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Meanwhile, at DFT,
the amount of times we click refresh on that page.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go.
Thank you, CFP.
Sarah says we'll be returning to flying with CA approval. Excellent. When is that, Sarah? Do you know?
Okay, shall we move on?
Yes.
Yes. What do we think about the new chairman of the CAA going to be the former chief of the RAF? He's clearly well qualified for the job, being a chief of the RAF, where he has to organise things. He's a pilot, an instructor, and of course his main job will be to steer the CAA ship out of the safe harbour of EASA.
This is Sir Stephen Hillier.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. By all accounts, from a couple of people who I've spoken to, they say he's a real good guy, intense, focused, highly motivated. So we can but hope that this will be a great appointment to the CAA.
He's got one hell of a job to do to recreate the CAA into being the certificating authority.
That's a kind of, I don't know, there's part of me that thinks, man, that's a bit of a, not quite a poison chalice, but a bit of, I don't know, look, we've got coronavirus, people grounded, airlines all over the world. But I mean, how many more problems could you possibly have? I know, let's leave EASA as well. That was just, because I'll be bored by Tuesday afternoon. It's like, man, he's got his work cut out for him. And, you know, clearly if you end up as head of the RAF, you've got something about you.
Yeah.
So that looks. Maybe we should try and get an interview. Maybe we should try and get him on here.
We should.
See if he's up for it. In fact, next week, should we try and get some guests? Maybe not him next week. See if we can get a guest next week.
Why not? And he's got a magic wand.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got just about 4 minutes left. So other news. It's been a bit quiet on the news, you have to say, at the moment, because there's not much flying going on. The manufacturers are holding back on launches of stuff. The suppliers of avionics and everything are mostly holding back. But there's one French company called Volt Aero who've just released a picture of their intended production hybrid electric aircraft, the Casio. It's a very sleek. Have you got a picture of it handy?
I don't think we have, but there is a news story running on Flyer, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a news story running on Flyer.
Flyer, the home of all good news.
Yeah, but no, I saw that and I was it's pretty impressive. And hopefully it's one of those things that appears and doesn't remain vaporware. But they're doing the testing, aren't they, at the moment? So of their tech.
And of course, the boss of the company is the former boss of Airbus. He was former chief of technology at Airbus. And the technical officer at Volt Aero is the former chief test pilot of Airbus. So there's some serious guys involved there. And I think you have to say where it is, just on the outskirts of Airbus territory in southwest France. They've got access to some serious knowledge and help. Yeah.
They must have like Vachon Ranger like foreheads with jobs like that in the past, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I heard interesting thing talking to the Vachon Ranger. I hear there's a new windscreen on the way. They obviously read your review about the big forehead.
Yeah. We've got about 2 minutes left. Is it worth just a quick chat about the fact, given that we're all really, really hoping that we can start flying again soon?
Yes.
And as soon as we can start flying, we're going to get our Get Britain Flying Again campaign going, really encouraging people to get up, get out, go flying, buy some food if they can, buy some fuel if they can. The whole industry has been effectively in hibernation for the last however long. We've had some amazing weather. Clearly, it's bound to piss down with rain next week, isn't it? Whenever it is. But really, we need an industry. In order to get that industry up and running, we need to get out there. We need to fly. We need to buy the fuel. We need to buy the food, or whatever it is we can. We all need to work together to really reinvigorate stuff as quickly as possible, I would suggest.
Yeah. Do it safely. Abide by the because clearly we'll be able to fly. Family. If you're a family group, there's potentially you can aviate that way. Otherwise, it's solo. But if you're lucky enough to end up somewhere, respect their rules, find out what they're doing. I was reading today about Sandown. They put a whole bunch of contactless payment stuff in. They're really working up so that people can fly in there and have a great experience and do it safely, and everyone has a good time and ends up back home.
Historically,
we've got our own plans, Ian.
Sorry,
We've got our own plans, Ian. We've got our own plans to help try and boost the industry as well, haven't we? I'm not quite sure if you're able to mention them yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Soon.
Okay. Next week.
We'll see. Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to add that historically, I've never been a huge fan of PPR because I think it's a right pain and pointless. However, in these times, the return for flying, I think, is going to be an essential thing, and I will happily pick up the phone and phone anywhere that I'm going just to get a full briefing on all the other stuff they're doing. So
yeah, that's particularly vital.
For a while.
I will say that's particularly vital. Some of the flyer-free landings are smaller strips. You know, they're not big airports. They're kind of owner-run places. So if anyone's using the free landings, those guys are happy to be in that scheme, but they, you know, respect their airfields and stuff. And like Ian says, get PPR.
Absolutely. I think we're a minute over there. So thank you very much, Ed. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much, everyone who's watched. Hopefully tomorrow will bring some good news and some lovely weather over the weekend. If it does,
they can't leave the lift music playing over the weekend, surely.
Let's hope not. Okay, right. I'm off to go clap. I shall see you all soon. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thanks too. Everyone stay safe, well, and hope you all get flying soon. Turn it off.